Welcome to day 6 of Summerween. I just dropped off Liam and a friend at the golf course, and now me and my mommy are going to the library. It's over there, and we're technically filming for the buzzword reading challenge video that's gonna come out like next week, so I'm not gonna talk to you very much, but if I do end up finding a thriller or horror book that I wanna read for this readathon, then of course I will let you know, and I'll include a little montage. I say we flip through it. We find the first to find a location, we go there. Did you know these are set in Kelowna?
I read that in the back of one of those. The hospital.
What? I don't want to go there.
No, either.
Oh no, she's at the police station.
I'm trying to go to Vancouver.
What?
We're talking about.
We can't go to Vancouver. You're going to jail.
Oh, I don't want to go to jail. Thank you. My name is Helen.
You wouldn't know. It's a retirement home. Go there. She's at a construction site.
Well, we've been driving through construction zones.
I'm home from the library. I had some things to do, and now it's already 4 p.m. and I haven't read a book today. So I think the smartest thing for me to do is commit to 2 novellas today, because I'm about to do reading sprints with my channel members, and I think Erin's gonna be joining me, so we can read Walking Practice together. I think this will be the perfect pick. It's like about an alien and has a lot of commentary on gender. And then this is called I Can Fix Her by Ray Wilde. I can't remember where I even heard of this, but it says it's a fast-paced queer horror novel in which an obsessive woman stumbles upon a second chance romance with her flighty paramour, but it quickly deteriorates into a dark spiral of destruction. I'm gonna read When the Wolf Comes Home, I guess like tomorrow, and then No One Dies Yet on Saturday. So this is my official TBR for the vlog that you're watching, and I'm sure the thumbnail gave that away. Hello, everybody.
Hi, friends.
I think if we do 35 3 times, I can finish Walking Practice.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't know what this is about besides there's like an alien who comes to Earth and starts eating people. And so there's like a lot of commentary on gender, I think. Okay, it's 3 hours later, and I didn't vlog a single moment of reading this because it was so incredibly captivating. So I'm just gonna have to play for you like bad sound quality clips from the live show. Erin and I read this together. We got through the first third, and we didn't quite understand what we were getting into. It was weird.
I could blame you, but instead, I'm gonna blame Allie. Allie, what the hell is this?
Yeah, Allie, what's happening? The book opened up with this alien creature going, all I know about this man, he's 6 feet tall, has an 8-inch, can't wait to be covered in buckets of Hello? Oh.
When she was talking about, she was like, I hooked up with a lesbian and she was eating my she said her lips were puckered on my hole. What? It's actually hilarious. Like when I first started reading, I'm like, okay, this is kind of heavy-handed because I can clearly see like, oh, this is depression, this is anxiety, this is chronic pain. But once she got to that man's house, I'm coming over for a hookup and the elevator's out. A, you couldn't warn me, and B, the least you can do is meet me downstairs. She said, it's okay, I got some for you.
She's texting him and he's like, yeah, walk up the stairs. And she's like, it's 16 floors. And he's like, okay, you better not be sweaty when you get here.
I don't like the smell of sweat, so hop in the shower when you get here.
Then we had the second chunk of this book, which got more disgusting. It's basically following this alien who has come to Earth and has been there for 15 years and is consuming people. And every single chapter, which there's only like 5 in here, they consume a different person. So they mold their body, which is them, all of these pieces into like the proper, perfect form for people to accept them. They go on these dating apps and then they meet up with these people. There's very graphic sex scenes. There's very graphic devouring scenes.
The last line that I read was, "She's burning holes with her eyes as she looks my naked body up and down, from the fat little shooting from my chest to my milky white belly to my dingle dangling."
Right, the dingle dangling.
There's a lot to be said about like chronic pain, and I'm gonna like read out some more serious bits that I really like stuck with me as a person who has chronic pain. I'm in pain, I tell you. My body is slowly approaching the point where it's difficult to pretend I am okay. If I didn't keep my body tightly restrained, I wouldn't even last 10 minutes. There's no way to prove how feeble I am. I can't hang around with the old people or concoct some excuse to shoo the young people out of their seats. This is because my body looks to be the picture of health until right before it reaches the point of being cruelly beyond repair. And I'm like, really resonated with me.
He's like meeting up with these people on the apps and he wants to eat them, right? But sometimes he like creates a bond with them first and he goes, sometimes they start to feel like an old friend. He's just like trying to connect with people because he's an alien. But there's like these beautiful passages, but then in the next line he'll go, and ugly people deserve to die. I don't know how this is gonna end. I want the alien to go home and be happy.
It's crazy because I'm like, we were like, what is going on in their first term? And now I'm like, I kind of empathize with them quite a bit.
Then we got to the final third and everything just ramped up. The disgusting things were more disgusting, more sexual. The funny parts were funnier. Our feelings are hurt by this book.
It was so unexpected.
This was literally like the perfect read right now. It's like, this is what I needed to read. Just something so outrageous, but also with a lot of heart behind it.
Right. You literally said, I cannot believe it's the same book you were talking about earlier. That environment that's happening in Korea, speaking as someone who has lived in Korea, that what they're saying about like being a woman and, you know, that whole element is like you have to this perfection and like how this perfection doesn't even really exist.
Hey, whatever. This is a 5-star. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
What a strange day.
I do think I'll be going out and buying myself a copy. Like, this is a novella that was meant to be a novella.
Yes, if this was 400 pages, I would have disliked it actively.
Because then it would have been gratuitous and it would have been disgusting. It's just like, oh, I get it. Hunch, hunch, eat, eat, munch, munch. Eat.
This was so good and it was sad and it was moving and there was a lot of talk about friendship and belonging and chronic pain, and there was just so much like varied representation and things that you could assume the book is saying that you could apply to so many different situations. Like I have so much. Aaron and I were just talking as soon as we ended it. We were like, I could talk for another half hour about this, about all the things that I think it was saying and how I could apply all of these thoughts to my reality. This was the perfect type of weird for me, and I just didn't think it would be, because a lot of times the ones that are really violent, really sex heavy and disgusting, the extreme horror ones aren't for me. And I don't think this is extreme horror, because those ones tend to be really gratuitous, and I think that the violence in here and the sexual content was for a purpose. And I don't think books have to be, but for my taste in horror, I like when there's a reasoning behind things, and everything in here was purposeful and smart and thoughtful and gross. And I just can't believe that that's how I ended the day, was with a 5-star. Like, I'm so glad Summerween ended up with a 5-star read. There's no way I thought this would be the one. And I don't even think I'm gonna read another thing today. I'm good. I'll see you tomorrow. It's already day 7 of Summerween. I'm gonna miss it. It's gonna be over so soon. Today, let's think. I wanna complete the bingo board, I think. Maybe I'll include it tomorrow too. Somebody mentioned the fact that Who is Maud Dixon, because it's set in Morocco. Parts of Morocco are a desert, that I could consider this for the desert prompt. But I also think that parts of this might be set in the desert, so we will see. And then I just need to listen to a Halloween playlist, watch a scary movie, and make a fall inspired treat. I've been really craving something I've never eaten before, banana pudding. And I feel like if I put some flavorings with it that feel like fall, then that could work. Today is about when the wolf comes home. I want to go sit by the water. It's not the hottest day, but I need to be outside in the sun. This is like the palest I have ever been at this time of year. This is the least amount of freckles I've ever had at this point in the year, because usually we have spent weeks outside and we've been on vacation outside, and this time instead we spent 4 days in a mall, and then we came home and it's been raining. So I really need to spend some time with the sun. And I read the first couple chapters of When the Wolf Comes Home, very action-packed from the beginning, and I'm getting this sense now what people meant when they explain this to me, as it's not just like horror where there is a werewolf, and it's not just traditional like a scary werewolf story, like there's something else happening. And to me, I interpreted that as like literary and a metaphor, like the wolf is a metaphor, because somebody said like you don't really know who the wolf is or something, but the synopsis says it's like adrenaline fueled, and it's a horror thriller. And in the first couple chapters we had main character Jess working at this job, and she's cleaning up this disgusting bathroom and she gets poked by something, and I was like, oh, this is where the werewolf thing's gonna come in. But no, she then has this sort of spiral because she's in trouble. I don't want to give too much away. And she ends up back at her apartment, and there's a little boy there, and they end up on like a run for their lives. The boy's father was there, and it was a very like intense, it was just opened really intriguingly. It's fast paced, and I'm just very interested to see where the story is going. I really liked Nat Cassidy's novella, which not a lot of people did, and then I didn't really like Mary, which a lot of people did, and then I also DNF'd Nestlings. So I'm glad that this one is at least like keeping my attention, and I want to keep going with it. So I'm gonna read it on the beach. Wait, is that why this child was never allowed to? Oh my god, this is getting so interesting. Liam's grabbing ice cream, we're heading home, and I could have never predicted where this book was going. I obviously don't know where it's going or how it's gonna end, but I feel like this is gonna be a pretty well-received horror this year. Thank you. Good evening. I have finished When the Wolf Comes Home. This was not exactly as I expected. I like this a lot. At the end of the day, it is about relationships, mostly family relationships, how impactful your relationship with your parents can be in a good way or a bad way, and having parent-like figures and how that can affect you. It's also a book about fear. It was violent, there was death, it was also sad. I think going into this expecting, you know, a werewolf story and kind of dude bro horror might be how this appeals to certain people. It's not gonna deliver that. It is more of an emotional, introspective kind of story, but there is also a lot of action and violence. What I think is really impressive, having read Nat Cassidy 4 different times now, is how easily they embody the characters with the actual writing, which not all authors do, especially when you're in third person. A lot of the times the author voice is very clear, and in Nat Cassidy's work, I feel like the writing is embodied by the characters. Like, it's as if his characters are in the driver's seat, not writing the book, but like they're in charge of steering the narrative style in a certain way. So the writing style in here felt more amateur than other books that I've read from him. And because I've read other books by him, I know that it's intentional. It feels juvenile at times, and it feels theatrical in a way that I think the main character is, like I said, embodying the narrative. Like, she isn't narrating the book, but it feels like the book is written for her. She is a struggling actor, and she's kind of just a messy, panicked individual a lot of the time, and doesn't really know what she's doing. And the writing style represents that to me. The chaos, the repetitive nature of certain things, certain phrases, a lack of more intelligent words being used. It's a little bit dulled down, also in a way at times that feels appropriate for the youngest character in this book, who is a 5-year-old boy. And it just has that like campy, fun lightheartedness to it, even though it's about death and violence and fear and wolves. The moments where we get the psychological thrilling elements and we really delve into the mental things that are happening in here, they feel approachable. They feel a little simplistic compared to what I know Nat Cassidy can do. The book is this like a really interesting balance of introspection and emotions, relationship dynamics, but also it's silly, and it's a fun read, and it's definitely a fairy tale-esque story. And it's just all very interesting and more ambitious than I knew it was going to be. I am giving it a 4. And now, to complete the bingo, I am going to watch a horror movie, and tonight read this, I Can Fix Her. Good morning for the final day of Summerween. It is the perfect weather for a pool day, so that's what we're doing. I have my necessary booster juice. I did not watch a horror movie last night. Rob and I went through quite a few and tried to make a decision, and then an hour had gone by and we still hadn't chosen something. He's a little too picky, so I just kind of abandoned that idea. And I feel like I watched a whole movie because we watched so many trailers and looked into so many things. I did end up reading my book. I know my rating, it's a 3, but I read it so close to when I went to sleep that I don't have like a cohesive review or explanation of the book. So give me a second, when I get home, I'll tell you about that. I'm currently reading No One Dies Yet by Kabi Benben. This is like fiction with an air of some mystery, thrilling elements, I think. Someone's gonna die at some point, but no one dies quite yet. We've been reminded of that multiple times. I'm 69 pages in. This is set in Ghana, and we have 2 characters who live there, and there's a lot of tourism coming, and they do things just a little bit differently. One of them is introducing, well, specifically there's a group of 3 characters who come to Ghana, and Kabi, one of our characters, is introducing them to like the rich life, the queer circles, the fun stuff. And then we have Nana, who is more kind of like culturally focused, religious stuff. The book is very sexually explicit at this point already. Like, everyone's kind of engaging with each other, and those are the vibes at the beginning. So we're gonna swim. I'm gonna read a little bit, swim, read a little bit. I probably won't finish it till the end of the day because this is kind of a dense physical read and it's almost 400 pages. But cue the swimming montage. definitely just how I'm supposed to look at the end of Summerween. Yeah. Let me quickly review this one. I Can Fix You by Ray Wilde. So this is the story of these two women who were in a relationship and they decide to get back together. It is sapphic mess. It is toxic. One of our main character is treating her partner poorly, but also treating herself poorly and just doesn't have a good grasp on anything. And when they get back together, the premise is so interesting. And I remember why I picked it up, because if somebody pitched it. After spending the night together, they face a morning in which Alice is still Alice, Johnny is still Johnny, and the dog has doubled in size. Like what? So they spend the night together, they wake up, and a couple things are just a little bit different. Like one of the women's haircut is a little different and the dog is bigger. And one of them is like, things are different. Do you notice? And the other person's like, I don't really notice a difference. And I think from there, I expected it to be that type of wacky story, where maybe every day something different is changed, or they're in a time loop and every day there's something different to notice. And I loved that idea. But rather it was focused on their relationship, and it was a lot deeper. But it was also at the same time a lot more cerebral. And I felt again like I was in a fever dream that I couldn't quite grasp. I usually love a fever dream, so I'm just not sure what is up with me. If you love short horror sci-fi novellas, I really would recommend this to most people. I think this is a good one. I just don't think I loved the dynamic that I was reading about. And obviously you're not supposed to, but that's just not the story that I wanted to be reading. Like, yes, I wanted the fever dream, but I wanted it in more of a fun way, and it just didn't quite go in that direction. There's also a really interesting POV that this has, but I really do recommend this one. So I don't want to spoil really anything else about it. Also, it's so short, so I feel like you should go into it not knowing more than that, but just like you understand the tone. And then currently reading No One Dies Yet. I'm almost done with this, and I always forget the category genre of crime fiction. It doesn't have to be a mystery or a thriller. It can be crime. This is a crime book. There is a crime, maybe multiple crimes, maybe multiple deaths. Cobby, one of our main characters, one of our perspectives, is writing about crime. That's part of his job. He's also a bookstagrammer and a book blogger, which is really fun for that to be integrated in here. And perhaps at one point he is writing about a crime that he witnessed or as a participant in. And I really like how the two perspectives are very different, even the writing style. It gives a really good idea of who these two are. The book is becoming more about one than the other, but they are both equally, I would say, spiraling in a certain sense, and it has gotten very chaotic. I think this is an ambitious book. I think it's doing too much, and I'll try to explain that better when I'm finished with it. But Rob and I put together the banana pudding. I found this recipe, and the only thing that's different about it from other ones I saw is like there's a little bit of softened cream cheese in it, which is interesting, but it seems pretty similar to the Magnolia Bakery one, which I see online all the time, and that's the one that I've like always wanted to try. So here's everything that happened. I don't remember in what order we did everything, but when I was doing it, I realized that it has to sit in the fridge for like 6 hours before you eat it. So I've been waiting all day for this to like vanilla cookies to soak in all of the cream and whipped cream and such. And now we can finally try it. I put mine in a cup so they could see the layers I've created. You're supposed to top it with more banana and a Nilla wafer. I think this is gonna be my favorite thing I've ever eaten.
Cheers.
Liam, they don't want your ASMR.
Gooey.
Do you like it? Liam doesn't like it.
Is there more?
Taking one bite.
Is there more? Is there more? Thank you.
I have no commentary.
It's really good.
It's the greatest dessert I've ever had. Every time I see somebody with Magnolia Bakery banana pudding on my TikTok, I'm like, I want to eat that. It's going to be my favorite food of all time. And it is.
It's really good. I have a lot of dishes to do.
I've done it. I have successfully completed 8 days of Summerween. I feel like the vlogs this time were a little bit lacking, but you know what? My next vlog is going to be so fun. So look forward to that one. I was having fun this week. I had a lot of fun. I just don't know if the vlogs are the quality that I typically enjoy. Shout out to everybody who's doing daily vlogs. Oh my god. I completed the bingo, except for the movie, technically. Listened to some Halloween music. And I made, was it a fall treat? I forgot to put cinnamon in it. This really sucked the life out of me, let me tell you. But I did give it 3.5 stars. I think it was a good book. Like I said, it crammed in a lot. And because this is kind of auto-fiction, metafiction, I do think that Cobby put in every thought he's ever had into this book as if it's the only book he'll ever get to write. And I want him to get to write more. So I hope that that's a thing. But it just felt like every single talking point was in this book. And there wasn't a ton of plot, but there was a lot of internal stuff going on, and there were action scenes. But I just felt like we were talking about so much stuff, and that's fair. Like, that's not really a fair critique. So it's not a critique, it's a review. It's my perspective on the book. Once you get to the epilogue, which I could have enjoyed more if I didn't feel already like kind of exhausted by the book. You know, obviously we're talking about post-colonial Ghana, and tourism is being promoted. Rob's lying on the bed in front of me if my tripod's moving. Tourism, they want people to come. People want to visit, you know, their motherland and see where the original slave ships left is it 400 years ago? It's not in the flap, and if I'm wrong, I'm gonna feel really stupid. But we're talking about like the impact that tourism has on the country, the impact that the country has on the people who come there. We're talking about food regionally and culturally. We're talking about sex regionally. We're talking about homosexuality and homophobia and the government and people and community. We're talking about jobs, what's available, what people are doing. We're talking about crime, what people are able to do, how people are treated when they commit crimes. We're talking about drugs, people bringing drugs into the country, how people are treated because of that. We're talking about class and poverty, how people are treated. We're talking about trauma, generational trauma, and then like relationship trauma. And there's so much commentary on just everything, and it makes sense because Cobby in the story is a writer and is sharing all of his thoughts on his country. But it didn't make for the most engaging book when you are following people committing crimes and waiting to see what's going to come of that. It's like a lot kind of bogging down the narrative, and I just think that this could have been 2 books. It could have been just, I don't want to say, it kind of felt like a coming of age story in a way. So I think there could have been this incredible coming of age queer tale, and then we could have had a really intriguing crime novel that's just focused on criminal activity, policing or lack of policing, and all of that. But yeah, I do think if I had the audiobook, it would have helped me get into it. Reading it physically really felt dense, and I'm glad I didn't pick this as a Literally Dead Book Club pick, because I think a lot of you would have been shocked by the amount of sex that was in here, especially at the beginning. But also maybe me explaining it that way is gonna make some people pick this up because of that. So yeah, the week is finally through. I've completed everything that I wanted to complete. At the end of the 8 days, I read 7 books. Hooray. Oh no, wait, I also read history. This does not feel like that happened in this week. This felt like weeks ago. I read 8 books this week. What the heck? I didn't realize how successful I was. Look at all the pink that's in this stack. I love it. Okay, so high five to me, high five to you, however many books you read, however many pages you read. Let me know the best thing to come out of Summerween for you. Maybe it was a treat that you baked. Maybe it was participating in reading sprints. Just feeling like a part of the community. That's what I love readathons for. I'm so incredibly exhausted. I look exhausted. And I will see you in a couple days with the announcement of the Literally Dead Book Club picks for August and September. There's currently a poll running on Fable. If you're watching this in the first couple days that it's up, this video, then the poll is still live and you can influence what we're going to read of these 4 picks. They're all ones that intrigued me or people have told me that I need to read. So select one of these, we'll read it together, and I'll let you know the results in a couple days. Bye!